So now let's take these 3 squares and let's say that you want to make an edge that goes straight up, just like the side of a blanket would. What you want to do, take this first square that you made, come over to this corner way down here at the bottom, take your new color. This is how I connect the yarn. I will put the hook right through this bottom loop, okay? Just lay the yarn right over the hook like that, pull it through. I hold the tail in the back. I use the working yarn to make a slip stitch because I just want it to be very secure, right there. So I'm going to insert the hook into that same space, yarn over, pull up a loop, and keep it just a little loose because you're going to be, once you complete this, you're going to be using this as a vertical bar to start to do your next stitch. So just make a single crochet just like that, and you can pull this yarn through and let the tail fall to the back. The yarn is secured to the work, so you're good to go. Now take the hook and insert it through the top strand of yarn right there, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then in the same stitch where you have this single crochet, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. This is where you're going to start making vertical bars to work into. So just yarn over, pull through 2, and you see there's a vertical bar right there. You're going to be working into that. Yarn over, pull through 2, and the top strand of that stitch is where you insert the hook. You treat it like a vertical bar. You just insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, and now, as you can see right there, there's a vertical bar. Insert the hook right behind it, yarn over, pull up a loop. Look at that, you got 3 loops on your hook. You're going to want 4 loops. So you come over here to this square on my orange yarn, insert underneath that stitch that's directly above the one where you connected. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Now you're going to work your return pass, and it's going to form the vertical bars that you want. See, watch how it does that. There you go, there's your vertical bars. Keep this one nice and loose. There you go, because the top strand is your next vertical bar that you're going to work into. There we go, there's 2 loops on the hook. There's 3 loops on the hook. Now you're going to have 4 loops on the hook. There we go, got it. Now we're going to have a 5th loop on the hook. Let's come over here to the orange yarn, go through this stitch right here on the side, pull up a loop, there we go. And now we have 5 loops on the hook. And now we work them off as usual by yarning over and pulling through 2. It's going to be the same all the way through the entire project. And now we have these vertical bars that we're going to work into. It's always 1 more vertical bar than the last row. So we're going to start inserting the hook underneath each vertical bar and pulling up a loop. There we go. Need some more white yarn. There we go. So here we have 5 loops. Let's make it 6 loops. Connect to the orange right through that stitch that's right there. Yarn over and work your return pass, pulling through 2 and building those vertical bars, just like that. Keep the last stitch just a little bit on the loose side. There's your first one right there. You work stitch right there. Now we go through these vertical bars. We have 3 loops. We have 4 loops. We have 5 loops now. Get a little more yarn. Now we have 6 loops. We're going to go through this vertical bar over here. Come on. Sometimes it gets a little tricky, but there we go. There we go. We have 6 loops on the hook. We're going to come over here, join it to this, 7 loops. That's exactly what we want. So we do a return pass of yarning over and pulling through 2 all the way back. All the way back until we have 1 loop on the hook. There we go. So we have built a vertical edge. So now what we need to do is we need to slip stitch. Here we go. Just coming in through the vertical bars as normal. That way it moves the hook from that side of the work to the orange squares. That's exactly what we want. There we go. And when we get to the end here, if you take a look on the orange yarn, there's a stitch that's sitting just a little bit higher than the white yarn. You're going to work into that stitch, work a slip stitch, and right there is your first loop of 7 to continue working down the row. Let's see what we have here so far. There's your edge. So, and it's a nice, clean, straight looking side. So, now we're going to make a white square in between these 2 orange ones. So all you're gonna want to do is, this is why you want your stitches to be loose. These are the slip stitches that you worked when you did the bind off for the square. All you have to do is insert your hook through the top, through these V stitches on the top. Pull up 1 loop. Okay, so now we have 4 loops. Now we have 5 loops. Now we have 6 loops. And now we have 7 loops when we go through this one here. That's exactly what we want. And now we do our return pass as usual. We just yarn over and pull through 2 all the way back. And of course this is creating our vertical bars to work into so we can create the next row. So here's loop number 1. This is loop number 2. This is loop number 3. Loop number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Now, what are we going to do for number 7? Let's take a look at the next orange box. There's a stitch that's right above the one we just joined to. Put the hook right behind that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. There you go. There's your 7th loop. Now work your return pass. The usual, yarn over, pull through 2 all the way back until you have only 1 loop on the hook. Very easy. So now there's our 2nd row. Let's do our 3rd. Get underneath each vertical bar. There we go. Just underneath each one and pull up a loop. There we go. And when you get to the end, when you've got 6, your 7th one connects to the next stitch on the orange square. Entrelac means interlace. Go ahead and work your return pass. And that's exactly where the interlacing happens. When you connect color B to color A. My hook went a little bit ahead of me there, so there we go. Now let's do our next row underneath that vertical bar. 2 loops, 3 loops, 4 loops, 5 loops. There we go. Trying to get some more yarn off my ball here. There we go. 6 loops. Some more yarn, thank you. Now we do the 7th right here in this stitch. There we go. And we work our return pass, yarning over, pulling through 2. I'm going to work a little bit faster, so bear with me here. But it's the same as we've been doing all this time. So there we go. Now let's do our next row. Okay, behind each vertical bar. Very simple. Nothing fancy. Just right behind each vertical bar. That's it. And now we connect to this stitch that's right here on the orange square. There we go. And we do our return pass. Yarn over, pull through 2. It's quite repetitive. It really is. It's the same thing all the way down the line. Very simple. And that's what you're going to have. Now you have these 2 right here. So now that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of Tunisian simple stitch, and it's completely joined to this orange square, you have to do your bind off. So work your slip stitches and work them kind of loose by going behind the vertical bars, yarning over and pulling all the way through. Come on, there we go. I may clear my throat periodically because there's a lot of pollen in the air and it's made my voice a little scratchy. So, you know, apologies for that. There we go. Now, we do have to come over here to this stitch on the orange box, insert the hook, yarn over and work a slip stitch. And there's loop number 1 of 7 for the next white box that will go in between these 2 orange ones. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. The hook goes through the top of each stitch. You can see the little V's as you're working. Okay, so right underneath these little V's. Very, very simple. It's like it's right there, saying right here, go through here, put the hook here. Okay, right here. There's 6 loops. We want a 7th right here, this one right here. There we go. Work the return pass. Yarn over, pull through 2. It never changes for this project. It's always the same. So now let's do our forward pass. Collect the 7 loops. Collect the 7 loops on the hook by working behind each vertical bar right there. There we go. Connect to the orange square for the 7th loop. Yarn over, pull through 2. Do the return pass. Okay, just work it all the way back. 1 loop. Doing good, doing good. Okay, let's do this. Under this, there's 2 loops. There's 3 loops. There's 4 loops on the hook. 5 loops on the hook. 6 loops on the hook right here. Let's connect the 7th right here to the orange box on that stitch. Let's work our return pass. Yarning over, pulling through 2. There we go. Always, always, always just yarn over and pull through 2. So we've done 3. Let's do row number 4. Let's collect the loops on the hook. This is how simple Tunisian simple stitch is. I find it so easy. There we go. Connect right here to the orange square and work the return pass. When I learned to crochet and I learned how to do this, oopsie, there we go. Once again, this yarn is very slippery, so it can slide through very quickly. But anyway, when I learned how to do Tunisian and I learned how to do this, I found it easier than just regular crochet. So we have 1 more row to do. There we go. After which we're going to do our bind off. Got to do that bind off because that provides the loops through which you'll work the next row. So, there we go, last vertical bar. Connect to the orange square. Come on now. Come on now. There we go. Good yarn, good yarn. Okay, there we go. Work the return pass. Pull some more yarn out. Work the return pass till we have one loop on the hook. Okay, ready? Here we go. One loop. Now we have to do our bind off, so we're going to keep our slip stitches kind of loose. Okay. All right, let's just work that there. Okay, let me get through that one there. Next one is a little tiny, but it will fit. You see, it fits. And pull through the slip stitch. Now, this is where we're going to make a straight edge just like on the other side. So, go ahead and work your slip stitch into the very first orange stitch, or whatever color you've chosen. Like, I happen to be using orange. So, get that hook back on there. So, what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and do our 7 loops on the hook. Okay, there's 2. See these little V's? Just get your hook right underneath that. There we go. Very easy. There's really nowhere else to put the hook. Okay. This is why really it's important to keep these stitches kind of loose, because then you wind up fighting with the yarn a little bit. But yarn is flexible, so it does happen. Okay, we've got 5 loops. We've got 2 more to go. One right behind the close off. And there is one right here on the end. I'm going to go right back there. There we go. Now, we do our return pass as usual, okay? So we yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2, okay? Yarn over, pull through 2, all the way down the line until you get 1 loop on the hook. So now is when you're going to do something a little different that will make the edge straight. You're going to work into all 5 of these vertical stitches, but nothing more. So go ahead and insert the hook behind each vertical bar. Okay. Typically with Tunisian crochet, after you go through this last vertical bar, okay, you would go in through the X, the 2 loops that are on the end. Not in this case. And you have only 6 loops on your hook. So you're going to work those off. You're just going to do your return pass as usual. We're basically working a decrease at this point. So there we go. So now you only have that many vertical bars to work into. You see them? So just go ahead and work into those vertical bars. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Okay, there we go. Now, work your return pass. Yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, and 2. Now, you only have 3 to work into. That's exactly what you want. So go ahead and work under those 3 stitches, those 3 vertical bars. Okay, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now you have only 2 vertical bars to work into. Okay, there we go. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you only have 1. Look at that. Yarn over, pull through 2. Sorry, there we go. And there we go. It's straight. It's a little triangle. So go ahead and break your yarn and finish it off. Checking the time. I'm a little late in getting back from my lunch hour, so bear with me here. Let's go ahead and finish that off. There we go. Let's see what we have. There we go. And you can see it's curling just like Tunisian is inclined to do. But now there is a way to work a straight row down here. I'm not going to go into it in today's video. I can do that possibly tomorrow. But you would basically work the next row. You wouldn't need to do these 2 triangles here. You would just build these squares in these spaces up here. And you would start your, I can continue to do this over the next few days, but I did want to get just the basics in here as to how to create this Tunisian crochet. We'll call it a Barbie Afghan for the time being. It's so simple, it's so easy, and it makes a nice, beautiful fabric that looks great. And that's how simple it is to do this particular stitch, this particular pattern, and how to make it look like a beautiful, beautiful blanket. So that's going to be it for today. I will keep my project with me and do a couple more videos on this as the next few days go by. Thanks for watching.